Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and in this video, we are going to go over all of the hero changes and discuss who are the winners and who are the losers for what will eventually be the Season 6 meta. Now, Season 6 has not started just yet, however, we can look at all of the changes that are available on the PTR and the buffs that have recently come in as the Season 5 has ended, and with changes to the Season 6 mechanics itself. And from that, we can kind of extrapolate which heroes will win, which heroes will lose, which heroes will not change, and which heroes are kind of like a maybe. So with that being said, let's talk about the winners. Now, Ana, she wins in a massive way. The reason for this is, it's actually kind of like a stealth buff for Ana. D.Va's defense matrix being nerfed means, well, Ana can actually heal. There was nothing worse in this game than playing Ana when the enemy team had a D.Va and she eats your Bionade. That literally means you cannot do anything. She also eats all of your projectiles as you're firing in to try and heal people. She stops you from healing. It is so frustrating, and it meant that Ana wasn't really played too much against a good D.Va player. By all means, you could play her, but you would have a lot of frustrating moments where, well, D.Va just eats your stuff, which doesn't really feel great. So yeah, with D.Va's defense matrix being halved, that's great. And also, this will have a major knock-on effect as we go through this list of winners. D.Va is kind of the main reason why a lot of heroes will start winning. Mercy. Now, she's obviously won, right? She has a huge character redesign, but I think she's actually way more powerful than the old Mercy. She's going to take a lot of skill to get used to, and I think it's going to take a couple of weeks for people to start settling into the playstyle with this new Mercy. But the thing she can do is absolutely crazy. Not to mention, she can AoE damage boost the team. She can AoE heal. She can res, then she can res again. She can res really fast in fights, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, because when a fight breaks out and you lose the first person, let's say the first push on King of the Hill, this is where I think Mercy is going to be really, really strong. You lose somebody on the first push, on the first fight, you pretty much lose that fight. Not with a Mercy, because she can instantly res that person and then you go again. It is totally crazy. And also, for other players with the new Mercy on your team, you have to be aware that sometimes she will actually res you randomly in the fight. Well, not randomly, but she will bring you back. So don't take your hands and like off the keyboard and mouse, because I generally do that when I die. I'm like, oh man, because you could get brought back to life, which could be pretty funky. Soldier 76, now he wins really, really big. Not to mention Junkertown is a very nice map for Soldier 76 anyway, and hopefully that will be in the Season 6 rotation at some point. But the fact D.Va is nerfed, again going back to the fact that her defense matrix has been halved in power, in duration, so it's no longer 4 seconds, it's 2. This means Soldier's got more free reign. It also means Soldier can tack visor pretty much at will. If Soldier tack visors into a fully charged D.Va defense matrix, it will only stop 2 seconds worth of damage. That means Soldier will still be able to pump tack visor damage out. He's still going to be able to do a lot of work. Now granted, the D.Va mech could jump into his face, but this is just honestly halved the effectiveness of Soldier's main, and I mean absolutely main, tack visor counter. The only counters to this now are going to be, well, you kill the Soldier straight away, or you're behind a Reinhardt barrier, or maybe in a Winston bubble, or an Orisa shield, or something like that. No longer will defense matrix be the easy go-to. Oh, just shove it in Soldier's face and you'll get screwed over. I mean, I've had this happen to me a lot. Play a lot of Soldier 76. You guys know I like the hero. So yeah, he's going to be way more powerful because, well, D.Va's been nerfed. Winston. Now, Winston's a very interesting one. So I still think Dive is going to be really, really strong because you can mix D.Va into the actual offensive dive. Now, this was done before. You would take Winston, you would take D.Va, you would take Genji, and you would dive onto targets and just explode them. Now, though, I'm pretty sure you can probably just do it with Winston and D.Va. You could dive onto a Zen, who I think is probably going to be a bit of a loser in this meta, and instantly delete him. That's if D.Va gets played, but I'm pretty sure Winston is going to win big, because basically dive is more stronger. More stronger, is that English? It's much more stronger. There we go. Doomfist as well can complement the dive. So Winston, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think Winston is still going to be the best main tank in the game. I think he's going to be very closely followed by Reinhardt, but I'm pretty sure any Winston players out there, you can pretty much just keep playing Winston. He's still going to be super, super strong. Just remember, if you do play Winston, do try and call out the targets that you're diving on just to give your team a little bit of help. Lucio. Lucio always wins, ladies and gentlemen. He cannot lose. He is Lucio, and that's why he wins. He's got speed boost. This is the ability that means Lucio will always be in the game. Until Blizzard remove that ability, which they never will, or give it to another hero, or do something which kind of means speed boost is pointless, we'll always see Lucio. He's a very reliable hero. He's got a very good ultimate as well, sound barrier, fantastic defensive ultimate, so he's literally going nowhere. So if you're a Lucio player, it's going to be awesome. Reinhardt, I think he wins as well. Now, he gets a camera buff, which is really funky. It's not like a straight up buff to his power, but it lets you see behind the Reinhardt barrier. So if you've played Reinhardt Often when you bring up your shield, you're just locked into forward view. The only way to look behind yourself is to spin the entire barrier around, which can leave you exposed to damage, which is kind of silly. Now though, you can spin the camera around and look behind yourself, which is really, really nice. However, I think the reason why Reinhardt wins a little bit in this new Season 6 meta is because Soldier 76 and McCree are going to win because D.Va's been nerfed, and both of those heroes work very well with a Reinhardt. So if you stay with the Reinhardt behind his barrier, you're actually going to do a lot of damage because your damage is not going to be absorbed by the D.Va. So I think Reinhardt could come back. Also, with Defense Matrix being nerfed, it means you need more reliable sources of damage absorption, and one of them is Reinhardt's barrier. The only problem with this that I can see on paper is because you don't have your own defense matrix on your team as often as you would before, your barrier will take more damage. And with buffs to things like Junkrat, where he can throw 2 concussion bombs or concussion mines, he can actually burn your barrier down faster than he could before. So I think Reinhardt wins. I'm going to say he wins. I am a little bit biased towards Reinhardt, but I think you can kind of get away with playing Reinhardt. I still think though Winston is going to be the primary tank. Widowmaker, she wins. It's a flat-out win for Widowmaker. She's been straight up buffed. So she's got a buff to grapple, so she can grapple more often. A buff to Widow Mine, so when she uses Widow Mine, she can, if it hits anybody and causes damage to them, she can see where they are, and she can line up headshots. However, the D.Va nerf also helps her out, but the D.Va buff also kind of doesn't help her out, because if D.Va becomes very powerful in terms of single target assassination on weak targets like your Widowmakers, then it could be a problem, because Winston is already kind of really good at dealing with a Widow. So if you've got 2 tanks that can do it, and these 2 tanks get played a lot, Widow could actually suffer. But I'm going to say she wins initially, because if you've got good accuracy and you've got good positioning, you're actually going to do a lot of work with Widow. She's just been flat out buffed, so I think we'll see more Widowmaker in this meta. McCree, for obvious reasons, as I said, D.Va has her defense matrix nerfed. McCree can just shoot more people, so McCree, I think he's okay and he'll do fine. Pharah, this is actually really huge for Pharah. Pharah is becoming way more effective, and I'm not like over exaggerating this. If you guys think pharmacy is a problem now, wait until you see the new pharmacy with the new Mercy, because she's still outputting the same healing, the same damage boosting, but if you kill that Pharah, well, Mercy's just going to res her, and she's coming back to life, ladies and gentlemen, so you're going to have to kill her again. That is going to be absolutely crazy, and it's going to, like, almost let them reign free. They kind of do move around on their own anyway, independent of the team, but now they'll be able to sort of flank with a lot more. Like, what I'm seeing in my head is a Mercy Pharah Iconvolt flank on the first point, where they go into the back, Pharah starts doing damage, she gets picked, but then Mercy just reses her and they carry on again. That is going to be crazy powerful. Of course, the nerfs to D.Va mean Pharah can fire more rockets into people. Pharah's main problem with D.Va is D.Va would defense matrix and eat up all of Pharah's ultimate. The barrage would eat up all of her rockets as she fires them in. She can't do that as often now, so she's going to be able to do more damage. So again, that's a straight up buff for Pharah. I don't think Pharah is going to have much issue dealing with the new D.Va. New D.Va can output more damage. Yes, she can fly towards Pharah in the sky while firing at her and fire rockets at her, so it could be a bit of a problem for like Pharah, but at least that way when you get killed by the D.Va, she's kind of doing something other than just pressing a single button and deleting all your projectiles, so I don't think it'll feel too bad. Tracer always wins. She is basically the measuring stick the entire game is balanced around. Tracer cannot lose, but the reason why Tracer wins even more is because of D.Va's nerfs again, because D.Va would play Peel. Now, or some cases she would play Peel. What I mean by that is she would look after the supports. Tracer likes to eat Zen for breakfast, but D.Va would put Defense Matrix over Zen, and that would stop Tracer doing damage to Zen. However, with it being only 2 seconds now on Defense Matrix, Tracer's going to be more effective against that, and, well, she's just going to be more effective, so it kind of is a little bit of a stealthy buff to Tracer. But she's Tracer, right? She's always going to be really powerful just because of the way the hero is designed. If you're good with this hero, you can do a ton of work. Reaper. Now, Reaper wins because Reaper, well, D.Va's been nerfed. I told you this would be a major theme throughout all of this video, especially with the winners. Because D.Va's defense matrix is nerfed, it means Reaper can use Death Blossom, so rejoice Reaper mains. And Zarya, now she wins because recent buff to Grav means that, well, she can set up very easy team wipes. But also, if Doomfist starts getting played more and more and more, well, she can combo with Doomfist's ultimate for a team wipe. She can also combo with, like, Tracer, there's, like, Hanzo combos, there's loads of other combos she can do, Genji combos, tons of stuff that Zarya can do, but I think Zarya will come back into the game. She kind of did towards the end of Season 5, and I think we'll see more Zarya in Season 6. Now, let's talk about the losers, because I think Zen is a loser, ladies and gentlemen, and the reason for this is, well, with less defense matrix, he's way more vulnerable. Zen can't move very fast. If people dive on top of Zen, it's going to be a bit of a problem, and he's generally going to get... well, he's going to get exploded, right? He can get exploded right now if people dive correctly, but I think it's going to be much easier to take him out of the game. And what I can see happening in my head is Winston and D.Va diving onto Zen and just deleting him from the game. If that happens, Zen, well, can no longer play Zen. That Zen player will have to probably play a Lucio, for example. I think we're going to see a lot of Mercy Lucio. I'm almost certain Mercy Lucio is going to be a very sort of go-to setup for supports in Season 6. Maybe Mercy Anna, but I'm really putting a lot of power on Mercy. Mercy is very powerful, and once players get used to it, I think we're just going to see it in literally every game. And I mean, there really is no reason why. She can bring people back from the dead immediately, every 30 seconds, and if she uses it and then pops Valkyrie, she can res somebody immediately after, so that's 2 very fast reses, and then she's only got a 10-second cooldown to res somebody else again, so it's very, very powerful. Roadhog. Now, I'm saying Roadhog's a loser because I was almost going to put Roadhog in the maybe category, but I think Roadhog is a little bit of a loser. That kind of sounds really harsh, but the reason for this is I still don't think he's quite where he needs to be. He's never going to go back to being the old Hog where he flanks and he hooks and he one-shots people. But this new Hog sort of abusing or like controlling space inside a sort of a death ball as a team. I don't know. Like, I'm finding it difficult to see why you would take Hog over a Winston, a Reinhardt, a Zarya, and a D.Va. That's my problem. That's why I'm saying he's a loser. But this could turn out to be one of those dark horses where he gets used a hell of a lot. So if you are a Hog main, don't worry. I think you can probably still do some stuff, but you've just got to change the way that you play. Orisa, she's still a loser, really. Like, she's got some minor buffs. I mean, projectile speed is increased on her weapon, and so but for both forms of attack, the primary and the secondary. Her shield size is increased, which means she's kind of more survivable now, because before she'd poke through her barrier, which was really annoying. Also, you can put the shield onto payloads, and it protects pretty much all of the payload, which is absolutely beautiful. But she still suffers from what I think is the main problem with Orisa. She's just way too slow. She is a very immobile tank. She's the most immobile tank in the game, and that's kind of how she's supposed to be played, but I don't know. I still see Orisa just being used on certain points, namely things like Horizon, First Point, and stuff like that. Bastion, again, Bastion, I'm going to say is a loser because there's just no change to Bastion. I think he is a very low tier pick, and what I mean by that is he just decimates new players to the game. After that, you know, people become very wise to what he's doing and they can easily counter him. And he just goes back to being used in sort of cheese comps, like let's say you're on Route 66 and you're in overtime, or maybe you've got a minute to attack the first point, you kind of put the Bastion on the payload, maybe you even bring the Orisa out there and you just kind of hope for the best. That's the problem with Bastion. I think he's just like, probably the worst hero in the game, which sounds really harsh, but I think on paper he probably is, unless you pull out the surprise Bastion, in which case, you know, surprise Bastion. So let's talk about the maybes, because these are the heroes which could go either way, and I think the first one is Junkrat. So he's very, very fun to play, but I think his buffs only really serve to make him more efficient or more effective in his current role. So I think he's going to be kind of like Sombra, and I guess Sombra goes into the maybe category as well. They're very niche heroes. They work very well on certain maps. They work very well on Temple of Anubis. Junkrat work well, so Sombra would work very well on Temple of Anubis. Junkrat can work on Iconvolve First Point. Junkrat can work on Nepal Sanctum. You notice I'm actually naming the points of the map. Junkrat can work on Dorado First Point. He doesn't work for the entire map, but he can work for bits of the map. But he's a more enjoyable hero to play. But I don't think the buffs are enough to propel him into like, oh yeah, we can just use Junkrat all of the time, or there's some sort of crazy Junkrat meta. I think he's just slightly better at the role that he kind of did. So then this leads me into Sombra, which, yeah, I think she's just the same. Very strong on Temple of Anubis, very strong on Volskaya, very strong on University Oasis, and other points like that. She only really works on points where there are a lot of health packs very close to the point. In that case, she can kind of abuse it in a way, which is the way Sombra's supposed to be played. If your team abuses it, she gets EMP really fast, and then she can start EMPing people. I think we might see a nerf, though, to Sombra, because she's way too effective at the highest level of the game. And maybe the devs might want to go down a path of saying, look, we think she's a bit too strong, so we might nerf her. So I'd watch out for Sombra nerfs in the future. But yeah, I think she's kind of like a maybe. She could be stronger if teams and players work out more crazier strategies with her, but I don't know. D.Va. Now, this one is a controversial maybe. With Defense Matrix being nerfed, she's no longer a must pick. Now in Season 5, a lot of D.Va was just flying around with Defense Matrix up. You could almost feather Defense Matrix and it was pretty much up all of the time. I mean, it wasn't up all of the time, obviously, but in between action or when a fight breaks out, you would always have Defense Matrix available. Now that's no longer the case. However, she's been given more damage. So this means that if she's used in a more aggressive way, if she's paired up with a Winston and she goes in for like massive dive onto a Zen or whatever, then she could be a really, really super duper duper must pick. But I don't know how this is going to work out, because remember, you've got Zarya, who is going to be used a little bit more, and she's very good against D.Va. You've got Soldier 76, who can now do a lot of damage to D.Va. D.Va is a big target, and what I worry about for D.Va is she might actually just get destroyed too easily and almost become the old Roadhog, like an ultimate battery, because of course the new one isn't an ultimate battery because he's got the 50% damage reduction when he uses Take a Breather. So D.Va, I'm kind of up in the air. I think they're good changes. I think she could be really strong, but also I think she could be maybe replaced with other tanks. I'm just not sure. And Doomfist, this again is another controversial one. Doomfist is very powerful, but there is a worrying trend that Doomfist is being tuned down, and by this I mean he's being nerfed slowly and surely over time. We might get to a point where he's just not usable, or on the other hand, we get to a point where Doomfist is used all of the time. It's too hard to predict. One thing I can say is he is kind of easy to play in a very basic, effective manner. If you're good with the fist, then you can actually do quite a bit of work. So Doomfist is an interesting one. Let's move on to Genji, because Genji is an interesting one as well. Genji is a winner, I think, but the reason why I put him in the maybe category is because of Doomfist. Because if Doomfist usage takes off, and it has at the pro level, so when you watch things like Apex from OGN, you will see a lot of Doomfist, but you will see, interestingly, Doomfist is used instead of Genji. Now, Doomfist is very strong against Genji because Genji can't deflect Doomfist's attacks, right? So if Genji's in a brawl and Doomfist comes in and punches him, well, Genji's probably going to die. However, I think Genji's main problem is the Genji players will start playing Doomfist, and that might reduce Genji usage. I don't know, like, these are very close. Like, Genji and Doomfist, they're probably winners, but they're kind of in a strange category in my mind, but I still think they're pretty strong. Now, there is a few heroes that I've left off this list. There is Mei, there is Torbjorn, there is Symmetra, there is Hanzo. I think these heroes will pretty much remain how they are and how they have been in Season 5. They've not really received any buffs. I don't think the meta is going to change too ridiculous to bring like Hanzo as like an almost certain pick. They are very much situational heroes, and I think they always will be. Could probably have put Junkrat into this category, and even Sombra, to be honest. These heroes are kind of, well, they're just going to be the same. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very in-depth look at the potential meta for Season 6 with a lot of information in this video. Guys, let me know what you think about this. This has been, I've tried to pack as much information as possible into this video. I know it's a fairly long video, but it is also a highly detailed video, and I hope this will give you a good idea of what Season 6 is going to be like when you actually get into it. Alright guys, I'm in Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. If you like the video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.